Welcome to the second group of death, House Harkonnen. Today's game is going to be showcasing probably the most competitive DUNE Imperium Uprising Bloodlines game within the Colosseum group stage. This House Harkonnen game has four of the most notable players within the Uprising community. Let's begin with each and every player. The first one being Sneaker Dead, a repeat finalist at the Mr. Beast Imperium Invitationals. Then we go on to Wade, also commonly known as Kasparov 1991. He is a repeat top 16 finisher within those tournaments. So again, a very, very strong player because the skill level at those tournaments is off the charts. Then we go on to Lil Green Ghouls. Lil Green Ghouls has been a top 8 finisher at one of these previous invitationals, and he was a very strong competitor. Finally, we have Airman, also known as Che Guevara. He's going to be playing, he's been also a finalist at one of the previous DUNE Imperium Invitationals. So, with that, this is probably going to be the most competitive game in the group stage. Let's get into it. Good luck to all four players within this game, and I'm excited to see how this goes down. All right. Welcome back to the Concealer channel. This is the Colosseum. This is going to be the Harkonnen, the second group of death. We have Sneaker Dead, Airman, Lil Green Ghouls, and Kasparov, also known as Wade. This is going to be an A-tier game, round 1. Let's see how they perform. All right. So, I mean, for this group stage, I have Sneaker and Airman making it out. So, I need them to make it out, because that's where that's where I think that's who I think is going to be making it out. All right, so we have Black Seed here. Sure, thanks. Uh, well, I mean, Coda's choices are going to be self-destructing messages, spy drones, and invasion ships. If I was Coda, I'd probably pick LSTM, but spy drones is also not bad. Let's take a quick look at this Imperium row. We have an A-tier game. So Keys to Power, a fantastic card early on. Pivotal Gambit could be useful later on. Engineer Miracle definitely is going to be like a round 1 pickup. Calculus Power is also going to be a round 1 pickup. There's actually there's a decent bit of good round 1 pickups here. Urgent Shigarwar is fantastic because you can pull it off with some Prepare the Ways and get a lot of faction access going. And you have a nice little faction game going for yourself. So definitely some possibilities here. The next thing we want to look at is the tech row and the contracts row. Okay, so tech row, we have Plasteel Blades, we have Chome Transports, Disposal Facility. Nothing too crazy here on the tech row. I mean, a Plasteel Blades is probably going to be like a P2 kind of pick. And then we're going to have a Harvest 3 contract. So P2 is probably going to be the first thing that's going to be picked here. I don't exactly know what the draft pick was, but we have started here. We have Sneaker Dead in first position. We have Kasparov or Wade in second position with Esmar. We have Rumber Vernius in third position with Airman, and we have Coda Odax with Lil Green Ghouls in fourth position. Let's see how this game plans out. Okay, so oops, sorry. Let me make this a little bit smaller for you guys, so you guys can see like Airman's hand a little bit. There we go. Okay, now you guys can see the whole board ideally, right? You get to see all the contracts. You get to see the text. The text, by the way, let me zoom in really quick. Chome Transports, Disposal Facility, Plasteel Blades. I'll try to zoom into everything that's around. We have Resourceful from what is this? From Piter. Let's take a quick look at what he put aside. He put aside Sinister. Okay, he put aside Sinister. So that makes sense. Resourceful is typically a pretty good start because you get to put your dagger to like Eric Keen or something. It's very nice. Let's begin. All right, so is Wade here? Or who's red? Who's red? Is Sneaker gonna play? Let's go. Okay, Sneaker's here. All right. All right, so Sneaker's gonna open up with a nice little duel for service. Probably picks up the 3 Solari contract, I would think, right? He's gonna pick up the 3 Solari contract and giving Wade the 2 Solari harvest 3 Solari other harvest contract for So very nice start for both Sneaker and. Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna. Well, that's a interesting start. We have Romber going to hug a basin, meaning he's probably not. So unless I guess Esmar does not have Signet Ring, so he's still gonna be able to harvest 3 next round and probably get Plasteel Blades, unless Romber gets Plasteel Blades first action next round, which I think is probably gonna be probably going to be what's happening. Then we have Coda going to Spice Refinery because she wants some Solari as well, because obviously all the other players are fighting for Solari. Coda's probably going to play second in this combat with her 2 daggers. Okay, looks like she's probably going to be might be placing a little bit higher, and a contingency plan from Sneaker Dead here. Huge. That is gonna be crazy. That is gonna be that's very strong. That's an intrigue. It's persuasion, which he can use to maybe buy something like keys to power, because he just wants 5 persuasion. He could also decide to maybe look for like a Argent Shigawire with calculus power. Could maybe go for a pivotal gambit line. There's actually a lot of lines you could take. I don't think there is a correct choice here. Right, Wade ended up going to, where did Wade go? Wade went to Seek Alice, a Desert Tactics trash card. Okay, what card did he trash? Did he trash his dagger? What did he trash? He trashed his Seek Allies and what? Dagger. Okay, trashed the dagger. We're gonna see Plasteel Blades picked up instantly from Airman here. Airman's gonna go super heavy on combats here. He's gonna go Canny, he's gonna go Fierce. I guess he's looking to maybe buy another. He's probably looking to buy the Assembly Hall Commander next round as well, and get Canny Activator. Maybe pick up a Hardy next round, and maybe go to like Fremkit if given the option, or find a way to deploy. The only issue with Airman is that well, actually, if he goes Dutiful Service, that also works, right? Because he goes Dutiful Service and he picks up a 3rd commander, and he'll still be okay. Because he still wants to play Seek Allies. So in terms of persuasion, we have Sneaker Dead on 5 persuasion. We have uh Kasparov or Wade on 4 persuasion, or Esmar, sorry, not 4. Esmar's on 2 persuasion. Romber on 4 persuasion, and Ghouls or Coda on 1 persuasion. Let's take a quick look at the Coda's check here. We have Spy Drones. Interesting. Okay, goes for Spy Drones. Wow, what a nice flip for our friend Esmar here. Esmar is going to have wheels within wheels. That is going to be a great pickup for him, because that gives him extra spies down. That gives him extra celerity once he starts getting up on Emperor. For persuasion for Romber Vernius here, he kind of wanted to pick up, maybe if he had 5 persuasion, he would have loved to pick up a nice little Quash Rebellion, but unfortunately that is not in his price range. He's probably going to be just happy with picking up like Calculus Power or Miracle. He is going to pick up Engineer Miracle, and here's one of the newer cards in the Colosseum community deck, or this is going to be Sandwalk, a new 1 persuasion card. Let's see if Lil Green Ghost decides to pick it up. I mean, he's considering it. He's considering it. He's not gonna buy it. Okay. Okay. Huh. Okay. Let's take a look at everybody's hand here. We have um Romber picking up Counselor Dispensation, which is a terrible intrigue for him, given when you have 0 when you have 0 Solari to pick up High Council. We have Sacred Pools, another water intrigue, but on the other guy. We have Asmar Tuig picking up Sacred Pools here, a nice little endgame later on, and we have Market Opportunity on our friend Coda Odax here. I mean, this is gonna be a Swordmaster play. It's gonna be some other persuasion. Maybe High Council, maybe Swordmaster. Who knows? The other intrigue that Piter picked up is Insidious, putting away. What did he put away? He put away Sadistic. Interesting. Okay, this is usually nice. Okay. Airman goes to Fremkid. He again makes sense. He probably wants to go. I would suggest maybe wants to go Assembly Hall afterwards. Makes sense. Yeah. Actually, yeah, she'd probably go Fremkit first, action, because he can always go to Assembly Hall afterwards and buy the commander and deploy. And he's probably gonna win this combat with like 8 strength, I would think. Because his commander, his commander is already 3. Then if he goes to say Gather Support or Assembly Hall, then it becomes 5 with Kenny, and his 1 extra Fierce is gonna make him 6. So and he put a troop in, so he's gonna be at 8. Okay, so all the commanders are being snapped up right now. We have 2 players buying 2 commanders, or oh no, 1 player buying 2 commanders, and the other players buying 1 commander each, which is a completely different game from the other games that I've spectated, where players just have not been picking up commanders. We're gonna see dutiful service here from Sneaker Dead. Does he pick up the Harvest 4 contract? Surely he does, right? Surely you pick up the Harvest 4 contract with Insidious, right? You get to give a spice back, you get to get some troops back. It's very nice. I would suggest picking up the Harvest 4 contract. But I guess if he wants to get some persuasion to maybe buy like Quash Rebellion, sure, that makes sense. What does Esmar do? Esmar, if I was Esmar, what would I do? I don't know. Another intrigue found from Ghouls here, or Coda here. He picks up the Ornithopter match. Doesn't have an Ornithopter yet, but sure. Okay, he's gonna get rid of an intrigue, finds a different intrigue, finds Wheels within the Wheels, a huge intrigue there. Does he have a spy on an important space? He has a spy on Privilege, or Swordmaster. I said Privilege because that's the only thing he has access to right now. Poison Snooper found from Asmar, which is a pretty good card if he wants to hit 5 Persuasion, which is probably... Or actually, he definitely is gonna have 5 Persuasion right now. He's gonna pick up probably Quash Rebellion. Actually, why would he pick up Quash? There's not many commanders left in the row. So Quash might be a risky play from him. I would think maybe he would want to pick up... Maybe he would want to pick up Calculus? I don't know, but Quash also feels not bad. Oops. Okay, puts in 2 there. Where did Airman go? Airman went to Spice Refinery. He wants some troops back. Okay. He's probably gonna win this combat, I would say, pretty easily. Unless Sneaker decides to go into this combat. Unless Sneaker goes like Arakeen, puts in 3, and then has like a dagger behind and plays a contingency plan, then sure, yeah, and then Sneaker would win it. But then that also gives Romber the opportunity to maybe steal Deep Desert away from Sneaker. Which I don't know if he particularly wants that to happen. But also, if Ghouls places a second in this combat, then he gets Deep Desert. Okay, is he going to go for the Arakeen play? And how many does he deploy on Arakeen if he does go Arakeen? This is going to be a... Finds 2 daggers, and he goes in for all 3 troops in here. Wow, huge. Okay. So that's 6 troops, 6 strengths on 2 players. So now the question is, what does Wade buy here? He puts a spy on Emperor, which is typically what you should be doing as Wheels within Wheels because it gives you Solari. And in Bloodlines, Solari is the one driving factor of the game. So you should really be picking up Solari when you get the opportunity to. So what does Wade buy here? Wade's in a tough spot here. Does he go for Quash Rebellion? Does he go for Calculus of Power? Does he go for Shigawire and a Prepare the Way? What's the best option? Does he ever go for Sandwalking? I would assume probably not Sandwalking. I don't hate buying Quash Rebellion here because, well, it gives Solari at the end of the day, right? And it's some daggers on reveal. So that's not bad, but that is also assuming that somehow 2 daggers from Airman, which is going to make Sneaker probably have to play his 3 Solari Intrigue or his 3 Sword Intrigue. Either that, or Sneaker's going to have to... maybe Sneaker doesn't play an Intrigue. Maybe he gets Deep Desert, right? Maybe there's 2 options Sneaker could take here. Airman ends up picking up Calculus of Power, which is a nice little fantastic card for him. Right, he gets to use Trash. He gets to maybe get rid of these daggers that he's probably going to be playing into. A nice little contract found from Mercantile Affairs. Oops, sorry. Mercantile Affairs, and he takes a contract, which is a research station contract for 3 Solari. Gives you access to Benny and Spies, which is kind of the most important spaces on that card. Okay, double daggers from both Sneaker and Airman. Well, we kind of knew that, but they didn't know that each other. Research station contract from Coda Odax. Does Sneaker proc it? 3 Persuasion to buy Urgent Shigawara, I think was probably the right choice here. Sneaker's probably going to be buying... I don't know, does Sneaker go for it? Sneaker does go for it. Okay, this does make sense, right? At the end of the day, Sneaker can easily go Imperial Basin next round and get Harvest 4 Solari, Harvest 4 Spice, which is going to generate him a total of 6 Solari. So this is a very nice play for Sneaker. He basically guarantees himself at least access to either Hog Basin or Imperial Basin and makes sure that he can complete these Harvest 4 contracts. What does he find? He finds Discerning, which is discard to draw, or Devious, trash a card from hand, which is actually very nice. If I was Sneaker, I'd probably keep Devious. Trashing a card from hand at this round is not that great. I don't know. Now, taking a look at some of the other stuff. Hold on, let me go down on this really quick. Oops, sorry. So you guys can see. There we go. I think they should be better. You guys can see like Airman's hand. You guys can see Sneaker's contracts. You guys can see everything now. All the intrigues and everything that's around should be better. By the way, Chom Transport's still around. There's not many people who are picking up contracts other than Sneaker, who might be interested in picking up Chom Transports and G-Locked Vault Disposal Facility. So Airman decides to go to Fremkid. He wants to start getting hooks. He wants to get Deep Desert himself, which makes sense. Deep Desert is a very nice space. Sneaker also does have 2 influence on the Emperor track, meaning he's probably going to be easily able to pick up his keys to power, which is probably going to go to either deliver supplies or fold space. He might even decide to go Highliner actually, because he can go. What Sneaker can do is probably just go to Imperial Basin and no. Oh, okay, that works too. Yeah, generates Solari that way. He doesn't have to give up an intrigue. This also works. Yeah, resourceful being pretty nice. Completes a total of 6 Solari and a spy. Yeah, I was expecting Sneaker to actually go maybe something like Keys to Power, or sorry, go Haga Base or Imperial Basin, play something like Insidious for the extra spice, and then, you know, probably just go like Highliner or something, you know, win a future combat, you get your spice back. It's a 3 spice. Actually, it's a 2 spice. It's a 1 spice Highliner. Because imagine he wins the combat, right? If he wins the combat, he gets 2 spice back. Keys to Power plays for 2 spice, and he gets a future spy. The spy might go on something like Swordmaster. So I would say it's really, really good. I'm surprised Wade isn't actually. I mean, I think what Wade is considering is maybe going Spice Refinery for Swordmaster. But I feel like if I was in Wade's position, I might just go to Dutiful Service and pick up the commander. Because, well, you kind of want to give Quash Rebellion a chance to actually, you know, shine for Persuasion and for Daggers. But let's see what he pulls. He finds another convincing argument. That is probably not ideal. Does he go Spice Refinery, Swordmaster? He looks like he is going to be doing that. He's going to go Spice Refinery into Swordmaster, and... Or maybe he goes Spice Refinery High Council. Huh. Maybe he goes High Council, and maybe he buys Disposal Facility, trashing his Recon on play, and then trashing his Dude on discard. I think that might be the option from Wade here, right? And he gets to buy a nice little card for whatever persuasion he has, 2, 4, 6. He would be on 8 persuasion, which is kind of nice. He could also maybe pick up G-Lock Vault if he wants, but I feel like Wade's most likely playing for a disposal facility play, which I think is actually great. He ends up having 8 persuasion, goes to High Council, which spends 7 Solari, but he gets 2 Solari back, puts him back to 3 Solari, meaning when he goes to something like Spice Refinery next round or something, he'll still have enough Solari for Swordmaster. So now it is up to, who's it on? It is on Coda. Coda has her hidden tech, which is spy drones. Maybe she could decide to maybe pick up spy drones. At say something like Imperial Basin, or sorry, at Assembly Hall, or I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Putting a spy down on important spaces, you basically get Swordmaster. Is she gonna buy it? Is she gonna spy drones? She is gonna buy spy drones. Okay, Coda procs it. 1 spy on Swordmaster, which is the typical space, and the second spy is going to be on new intrigue found from Coda, by the way, which is weird in combat. Nice little combat, a nice little intrigue there. Taking a look at the intrigues, Insidious on so 2 Piter intrigues on Piter, Devious and Insidious. We have Counselor's Ambition from Okay. I don't know if I was Coda, I might have decided to pick up SDM there instead of picking up spy drones, but that's also like my personal preference. Spy drones is a great tech, don't get me wrong, but the extra persuasion is kind of nice. Okay, so Sneaker's gonna hammer this Emperor combat this Emperor alliance, and is probably just gonna go for the alliance. Is probably gonna pick up the commander on the Emperor alliance, I would think, right? And probably pick up Loyal as well on the way. Does he pick up Loyal? I feel like he does, right? I mean, next trip, you just take a trip to Refinery and you get Swordmaster. Why would you not pick up Loyal here? Surely he picks up Loyal. And then Wade most likely goes either Swordmaster. I have a feeling Wade's probably gonna go High Council, right? I have a feeling Wade's gonna go High Council and pick up Disposal Facility, trash some cards so that any card that he buys off the road this round, he's gonna be in a pretty good spot to see that card every round, especially with Disposal Facility. How many cards does Wade have in his deck? He has a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in his deck. If he trashes 2 cards this round, he's gonna go down to like 8. And if he sees like something like Captured Mentad, he would be in a he would have a great game, to be honest. He'd get to spam intrigues. If I was Wade, I would consider High Council, right? Because again, you have Swordmaster, or not Swordmaster. You have a spy on Swordmaster, right? So if I was Wade, you would probably have an easy path back to Swordmaster. But no, he's gonna go High Council. Interesting. Finds with the wheels and wheels, just probably not the card that you wanted to find. But also, it's not that bad because you can always just go to Dutiful Service. I don't know. I liked going to High Council there because, well, because he gets 3 Solari and 1 more trip of Spice Refinery will just get him to 7 Solari for Swordmaster. Overthrow, okay, again, which is if Wade had gone to something like High Council, he would have had Overthrow. Again, very hindsight, right? So I don't know. I don't like. I mean, the other thing with Swordmaster is that not only do you get Swordmaster right now, you also open it up to everybody else. Like, I mean, to be fair, a lot of this could just be straight up hindsight, right? It could just be like, oh, I saw Overthrow, but it happened. But I think I was kind of on the line of Wade going to High Council, picking up the Commander, activating his Quash Rebellion eventually. I mean, there's also a Driven on the road. He might consider buying Driven, but no, he's gonna simply just get Swordmaster here and maybe start playing Faction Access to like Dutiful Service, maybe get some spas down, and just get some Faction Access going. He has only 1 bump in 3 rounds. Is that right? He has 1 bump in. Is that 4 rounds? 1 bump in 3 rounds, right? He has 1 bump on Fremen. That's it. So I guess I can understand maybe why he wants Swordmaster, because he wants extra influence. Sneaker ends up going to maybe Sneaker actually plays Devious to deploy troops in this combat, which is, I mean, why does he want to win this combat? Oh, I think he wants to win the combat so that he can actually go Swordmaster. Makes sense. He could maybe Sneaker might even consider buying Chome Transports with that extra spice, which I don't hate because Chome Transports, again, he already has 2 contracts completed. He's literally 1 Emperor bump away from completing a 3rd contract and a 4th contract, which is are very easy for him to complete as well. Assuming he buys Chome Transports, right? Secrets contract, that's 1 trip to Secrets. He does have access to Secrets, obviously with Keys to Power and Diplomacy, and he can easily harvest 3 contract because he does have the Imperial Base and Flag. So very easy, and double Secrets contract shows up for Sneaker if he's interested. 6 persuasion from Wade here. Does he go for Arrakis Revolt? I wouldn't mind Seeker. Sorry, I wouldn't mind Wade picking up Arrakis Revolt. It's a bunch of daggers, surely. You know, maybe you can trash some cards. Well, he's not gonna be trashing a lot of cards. I don't know. If I was Wade, I'd probably just pick it up because like, well, it's a troop and it might give you some utility later on in the game by like round 6, maybe round 7, right? Surely it's not that bad. Okay. Oh, okay. Coda does play the intrigue and ties Sneaker in the combat. Why? I mean, Sneaker's happy with getting 2nd place here, right? I mean, ideally he probably wanted 1st, but 2nd is also okay because now he gets the option to go into Swordmaster instantly, buying something like Chome Transports, and then just going, you know, going probably I would say, um, I don't know, a Swordmaster by Transports, and maybe like depending on whatever else he has left, right? Oh, sorry, did my Wi-Fi cut out? Why can't I see anything? Okay, now you can see things. What does he buy? He had to choose between in unnatural. By the way, two intrigues that Sneaker found were tactical option, unexpected allies. So one of them an S tier intrigue, and one of them being a absolute F tier intrigue. So he ends up throwing away controlled, which is not bad. But I guess unnatural is pretty good, especially with a tactical option. So very nice combo there from Sneaker. Taking a look at Ghouls here, we have Ghouls picking up some intrigues as well. Counterattack, which is nice for him. Backed by Chome, which is nice for him, which just gives him Swordmaster right now if he wants it, but he chooses not to. And Market Opportunity. So a lot of Solari stuff happening for Ghouls here, which is nice for him because, well, he does have a lot of commanders. Well, when I say a lot, he has 2 commanders, so he might be interested in buying said commanders. Where does Sneaker go? Sneaker probably goes Swordmaster, probably picks up a nice little Chome Transports, right? But picks up a Secrets contract, maybe goes to Secrets afterwards, completes a contract, maybe gets Spice of Slow this round. Well, actually, he probably doesn't even want a Spice of Slow. Maybe he just wants Overthrow, and is completely in his price range to buy Overthrow because he can easily recall a spy for. He can easily recall a spy at Secrets and draw 1, 2, 3 cards. And the next time he goes to something like Sardaukar or something like Dutiful service, he completes another contract, and he gets 4 contracts completed instantly. So very nice from Sneaker here. If he ends up picking up Chome Transports, that is. Does he pick up Chome Transports? Okay, first he's gonna switch out an intrigue. He's gonna give it a tactical option, which was kind of what we expected. He gets a troop in. He gets he gets another intrigue. Oh, a nice intrigue there. That's a very good intrigue from Sneaker. I think if I was Sneaker, I'd buy Chome Transports 9 out of 10 times, right? I mean, it's just a free point. It's round 4. And you can probably have enough spice later on to pick up more intrigues. Anyways, Glow Globes flips for who? Who's gonna be buying Glow Globes? I mean, Rumber has one. Rumber has one negotiator. Rumber might decide to go like High Council to buy Glow Globes. One thing that we have to keep in mind is that Rumber is most likely in Swordmaster jail. He is probably not gonna be seeing Swordmaster anytime soon, unless Ghouls goes Swordmaster right now, opens up the spy, and somehow Rumber Vernius finds a way to get a spy down on Swordmaster. Actually, well, that doesn't matter because he's not in jail because well, he's the only one with Swordmaster options. Okay, because three other players all at the table have Swordmaster, so Rumber's guaranteed to get Swordmaster next round. Yep. Maybe I should zoom back in a little bit more. There we go. Okay, this should be better. It's a little bit harder to see all of the intrigues and stuff, I guess, maybe. Yeah, like Consor's Ambition, Bribery. Maybe I should go down a little bit. Maybe like this. Yeah, you guys can still see everything from the intrigues, right? Okay. Alright, let me just help you guys out real quick. There we go. Okay. Now you guys can see everything. Oh, he goes High Council instead of Swordmaster. Interesting. I guess he wants to get Overthrow. Does he have enough Persuasion for Overthrow? He is looking for enough Persuasion for Overthrow. He does find enough Persuasion for Overthrow now. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 found. What does Sneaker do here? Okay, and he buys a 3rd commander, which is great. So now he's not in He's not in. He can still get Swordmaster, to be fair, right? He can still get Swordmaster. He's gonna pick up both Secrets contracts. If I was him, yes, Sneaker's gonna stack up on Sneaker's contracts. He's gonna go Secrets probably this round and just hammer down. Um, Okay, does he go Worms? He goes Worms. Okay, he goes Worms. It's a match for him. If he wins the combat, it's nice. Let's see. 8 Persuasion, buys Overthrow, finds Honor Guard. A nice little intrigue when you have a lot of commanders, right? It gives you it gives you a commander for 1 less, and it also allows you to deploy a troop, which is huge. Does he put the troop in? Wait, how does he put in the troop in? Oh, he's trying to counterattack. He's trying to see if counterattack is worth it. Does he want to win this combat? Why would he want to win this combat? That was the question. I don't know. If I was, I mean, if I'm Sneaker, I'm probably just going straight up to Secrets, right? Just completing both contracts, 2, 4, 5. I'm drawing what? I'm drawing one from this. I'm drawing one from Secrets. Sorry, I'm one drawing from the Spy, and I'm drawing 2 for each contract. I'm drawing 5 cards, and that should be enough for a Spice to slow. That's what I would think Sneaker's gonna do. I could maybe see Sneaker. I mean, he probably is gonna go either Secrets or Espionage, because yes, that's the only kind of access he has in his deck. Does he go for it? Okay, so Ghouls does end up counterattacking for 2 troops. Okay. No, he's not gonna. He's gonna play the intrigue, but he's not gonna choose to use it. Okay. He shows the intrigue, but doesn't play it. Secrets, does he recall? Does he go for 5 Persuasion? Does he go for 5 card draws? I would think so. Well, he draws all 5, and he probably gets a Spice to slow, right? He draws all 5 cards and finds Imperium Politics. Huge intrigue. That is an alliance right on the spot. But I feel like he might decide to instead choose to go to, say something like Sardaukar. to pick up another contract, obviously. So he has 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 persuasion in his deck. Does Sneaker interest himself in getting... Okay, he picks up the Alliance, gets another contract. He completes a contract and he draws another card. Okay, he puts a spy down. Okay, so Sneaker has realized that it's probably better for him to take the Alliance later on because he can draw another card. But okay, he's choosing not to undo his action, which I feel like the table would probably allow him. He does have a lot of cards in his deck though, so and maybe. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if I was Sneaker, I'd probably hold the one Solari there. Like, is anybody else going secrets? You have you like nobody else can go secrets this round, right? So you might as well, if you were planning on taking it, if you were planning on taking the Alliance this round, you could always just take the Alliance on reveal once you have a Spice Slow and then draw the Spice Slow so you get another Spice back, right? Like, what is the reason to do it right now? Nobody else can go secrets. You just block the only space that you can. Don't fully understand that play, but oh, does Sneaker decide to go pick up? Does he pick up Troy? Does he pick up a cargo runner instead? Is he ever consider? He doesn't even consider. He just straight up goes for a Spicy Slow. It is a point for him, right? He is currently in the lead with, I don't know, was that 5 points? He's currently in the lead with 5 points. Second place being, what is that? I guess currently Wade, who's beating Airman on tiebreakers, or as I'm gonna say about leaders. Asmar being in second place, who's beating Rumber on tiebreaks, but that is no longer the case because Rumber just ended up winning this combat, getting a match, and he has 3 water, which is gonna get him Deep Desert. And it's a combat that is this combat is a wormable combat too, which is huge. Okay, so now what's gonna be happening here? We have ghouls here. Ghouls has spy drones, right? Ghoul, but the thing is, Ghouls might not be able to get Swordmaster. He spent all of his Solari intrigues literally last round. He ended up going to, where did he go? He ended up spending, I think, like 3 Solari intrigues or something. Like, he spent Market Opportunity. He ended up buying Chom back by Chom. Like, this was already 9 Solari right there. And he went to Spice Refinery. Dude, he had like 13 or 14 Solari, and he had spy drones for 1 Solari. Jeez, like, he generated so much Solari last round. And what's crazy is that even after generating all that Solari, he is back to 0. And he has no Swordmaster. So what is Sneaker gonna do? If I was in Sneaker's position, sorry, let's take a quick look at what Sneaker put aside. He took away he decides to draw calculating, which is for each type of unit you have in the conflict, you get 1 Solari, which is nice. By the way, the only reason Sneaker is able to do that is because of his Piter switch, right? At the start of every round, we've modified Piter so that it's community version to make him a little bit stronger than what he was in B tier. So at the start of the game, you get to shuffle the Twisted Intrigue, and you shuffle the Twisted Intrigue deck. But at the start of every round, you draw 2 Intrigue cards. You keep one, and you place the other one at the bottom of the deck. I believe there's a total of 14 Intrigues. I think, maybe there's 12 Intrigues. So I think at some point in the game, you do end up drawing into the card that you put aside. So there's 7. Yeah, there's around 14 or something. So what does Sneaker do here? I assume Sneaker throws a commander in, and he just instantly procs his calculating for 2 more Solari. If I was him, right? He's gonna play it. He's gonna get 2 more Solari. Fantastic. Okay. I mean, what would be crazy is if Sneaker loses the game on 1 spice, right? If Sneaker loses the game on 1 spice, it would literally come down to that 1 misplay on round round 4 when he ended up not taking the spices slow. So now we have Wade. Does Wade go? Okay, he's gonna go accept contract. Wade definitely needs to go to Siege so that when he goes to Siege, he has the option of going to also break in the wall with Arrakis Revolt. I assume other players are probably keeping track of his Arrakis Revolt, but we never know. We also have a nice little intelligence report. Taking a look at his intrigues, there's nothing else, and there's nothing crazy intrigues here. We have Spice's Power, which is a pretty S tier intrigue early on. Can be also S tier later on for 6 swords. We have Bribery, which Rumber might be interested in getting another faction bump because he literally has 4 influence on 1 faction bump and does not have a single faction bump anywhere else. This is Uprising and Bloodlines, so there's no spy satellites, and this is the community version, meaning there's no Panopticon. So players need to actually work for their faction alliances or faction bumps and friendships. But Robert does have a little bit of help. He does have a nice little pivotal gambit that he can maybe consider using on this combat. No, but he's going to go worming directly. He's going to go worming right now, and maybe he wants to go research station. If he goes research station with, say, something like pivotal gambit, then, and he probably throws a commander in, I would assume, but he chooses to give up swordmaster. Well, he's not choosing to give up swordmaster. He can maybe go later on. Okay, very nice play from our friend Koda Odax here. He ends up buying, she ends up buying Suspensor Suits, which is great given the amount of intrigue generation she has. She has captured Mentat for intrigue generation. She has the ability to maybe intrigue generate off of Mercantile Affairs. She has a lot of intrigue generation, so this is a very nice play from Koda. She is going to also start discarding some intrigue so that she doesn't get stolen from. Obviously, she's going to discard a card for the bump up on Fremen. Did she go up on Benny or Fremen? I think she went up on Fremen. Or did she just choose not to take the bump right now? Where does she take the bump? Okay, she's gonna take the bump up on Benny, maybe? I mean, there's an overthrow in the game. Or, well, when I say overthrow in the game, there's only one person who has overthrow, and that being our friend Coda. Coda has overthrow. Okay, Coda's gonna go for the Fremen Alliance, it seems. Well, maybe not the Alliance. Maybe she just wants her friendship so that she can go to like something like espionage and pick up the Alliance or pick up the friendships that way. Because she's kind of out of Swordmaster. I mean, she needs to get a lot of help to get Swordmaster here. Like, High Council from Sneaker here. He ends up picking up some spice. If I was Sneaker here, I would probably just, I don't know. I mean, do I ever consider buying maybe something like servo receivers? Maybe not. I mean, it's one spice for a faction bump that you might use on a signet ring. I don't hate it. It's like one spice for a future faction bump, and you get a troop off that signet ring. But the problem is, like, where are you gonna take that faction bump? You're probably gonna go like something like Fremkit, I would assume. Maybe consider going to like espionage. Well, you also have a lot of like espionage access because you have Argent Shigawire, and you also have your keys to power, and you have a diplomacy. So maybe you're probably not going to take it to Benny, but I would assume you can probably just buy this tech. Or does he want hollow protectors? He's looking at hollow protectors. I don't know. Both of them are pretty good. He's gonna buy hollow protectors. He's probably gonna discard his dagger, I would assume, to find a better card. What would be the end of the world is if somehow Sneaker finds another dagger, which I don't know if he's trashed both daggers. I don't know if he hasn't trashed a single dagger, so there's a chance that he finds his other dagger, or in a world where he discards a dagger and finds his convincing argument, he would be very, very sad. We're gonna hope that doesn't happen for Sneaker, but if it does, then I guess the rest of the table is back in the game. Esmar, it is his turn. Where does Esmar go? Esmar, if I was Esmar in that position and I have a lot of daggers, I might consider buying a starter card at some point, right? Because, well, I do have Quash Rebellion. Unless you want to keep revealing Quash for a whole lot of nothing. Like, I don't fully understand what Wade is planning on doing here, because he obviously wants a contract, right? He definitely wants to go High Council because he just bought that contract. He definitely wants to harvest some Solari, harvest some spice because he has that contract as well. He probably wants to go Sardaukar so that he can maybe pick up a commander there, so that his Quash Rebellion isn't of absolute, isn't a terrible card. Like, objectively, Quash Rebellion is a worse card than something like Base Spoils when on reveal when you don't have a commander. So if I was Wade, I would maybe try to pick up the Sardaukar commander. Right, maybe go like something like Imperial Basin. I wouldn't even mind going to my own siege, right? Going to my own siege is a fantastic place, right? You get your Solari for a future. Oh, you could actually harvest so much Solari, right? You get to go to your own siege, but no, he's gonna go Dutiful Service. Interesting. Okay, I don't know why he's not gonna go to his own siege, because you get 3 spice, right? You get to generate 3 Solari, 4 Solari, I guess, because it's your own siege, right? I don't know. I don't know why he didn't go to his own siege there. But I guess also picking up the Sardaukar the contract isn't bad. The recall contract. Um, I don't know. It's like, it's okay, I guess. It's like, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Does Airman or does Romber decide to go pick up rapid dropships here? Okay, he's gonna buy rapid dropships here. Does he deploy troops in right now? I'd probably think not. There's no reason to, but he does have a lot of he does have a lot of swords behind. But the other thing is he does have worms in the combat, right? So now the question is, Airman is Airman last to reveal? Airman is gonna be last, not real. Airman's last to act, so he can actually decide and wait to see what other players do, and then decide to go in research station, and probably win the combat, which I think is probably what he's gonna be doing. And he wins the combat, he gets a bump up on spacing, gets 2 bumps on spacing, and he gets take 2 bumps on another faction. Probably gonna be something like Emperor, so that went on round 7. Assuming the game does go round 7, he has the ability to go privilege. Okay. A lot of troops in from Coda here. He's gonna go gather. Oh, he's gonna go privilege. Oh, okay. Finds his diplomacy, which is nice. That diplomacy is probably gonna be going to something like secrets, I would think. Gets rid of Insidious. Interesting. Well, I guess in a way. Oh, Shadow Alliance. Probably not the most relevant intrigue at this point in the game because, well, he has one alliance and he has 0 influence on basically all the other tracks except for Bene Gesserit, where he has 1 influence. I like going privilege there. I like going privilege. I might consider maybe cycling the spice and slow first and then seeing what I draw into, because you have 2 actions, right? And nobody else can maybe go privilege. Actually, maybe Wade might go privilege, but do you really care about Wade going to privilege? I don't know. This also kind of hurts Airman because, well, if Airman, well, we don't. Airman knows Sneaker has 3 intrigues. As a spectator, we know that Sneaker has 3 intrigues. None of them are combat intrigues. But Airman doesn't know that. And if Airman decides to go pivotal gambiting on, say, something like Research Station, and he doesn't win the combat, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. So, does Airman decide to go Research Station and with pivotal gambit and absolutely hammer the combat, or does he choose to wait? Okay, not Sneaker. Esmar decides to finally go to his own siege. He gets a lot of Solari. He completes all the contracts, which is huge. He has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 persuasion on reveal. Has the ability to go Sardaukar next round, which is fine. Does he deploy a troop in? Well, it's kind of hard to deploy a troop in. Oh my god, I just realized our friend Coda has somehow drawn Overthrow, which... where did she even draw? She went to Assembly Hall and gather support? Did she trash a tech or something? What is this? Did she trash a tech? Is that why? No. Oh, she trashed Sardaukar soldier with... What did she trash Sardaukar soldier with? Did she use an intrigue to trash something? Doesn't look like it. How did she trash Sardaukar soldier? I don't know. Oh, spy drones. Right, she trashed on spy drones, and then she generated an intrigue. And then when she recalled a spy, she ended up drawing her Overthrow, which is kind of annoying. But at the same time, it's not that bad because, again, she gets a spice slow off of that Overthrow. So her Overthrow has already generated 1 point, in a way. Probably not the way that she wanted to generate a point, but but at the end of the day, it is a point. Okay, so now this is the question: does Airman go Research Station? Does he go Research Station? Does he go Air Keen? What does he do here? No, he's gonna play it safe. He's gonna go to something like Secrets and try to maybe get second in the combat. False Orders, which is a huge, by the way, this is the unnerfed False Orders. This is the original False Orders, where each player that is spying on the board space that you just sent to must remove their spy. It is effectively like a holy war space, right? Does Airman decide to play, or does Rumber play that intrigue? He does play that intrigue. He is gonna make a Sneaker remove that spy. He's gonna make Sneaker remove the spy. Okay. Secrets from... Oh, he's gonna detonate here. Here we go. Okay. Okay. All right. So, if Airman had decided to pivotal gambit there, it would have been a really, really bad move because, well, Ghouls would have decided to go pivotal, would have actually won the pivotal gambit combat because he would have gone to detonate. He would have detonated troops in. He would have probably procced his Spice's power for 6 swords and easily won the combat and scored all of his faction points. It's a match for him. It's another bump for him, assuming he gets pivotal gambit off. But wow, what an what a great save from our friend Airman here, or Rumber here. Okay. So Ghouls has Spice of Slow. Ghouls ends up winning this combat. He gets a bump up on spacing. He gets another contract, and he gets a match, which is probably the biggest thing. Is that this fact that he gets a match. But how does Ghouls ever win this game? That part I am yet to answer. I think if I was putting my money on a single player right now, it'd probably be Sneaker. Sneaker's in the best spot. followed by, I would say, the thing is, if the game goes round 8, Ghouls is in a really good spot. Is a really good spot. But if the game ends on round 7, which I feel like is probably gonna be what's gonna be happening here with Sneaker, he probably wins it. Like all Sneaker has to do is pick up all of his 3 friendships, right? He picks up Fremen, he picks up Benny, he picks up Spacing, right? And he buys a Spice of Slow on round 6 and buys a Spice of Slow on round 7, and he ends the game on 11 points with his Chom transports. So he does have an easy path to 10 points on round 7. The question is, does anybody contest him on the Emperor combat, on the Emperor alliance? If Wade can somehow pull off something like Sardaukar, and then maybe pull off like, I don't know, like a little Imperium politics has been played, change allegiances, and takes the Emperor alliance ahead of Seeker, then this game might go round 8. But I mean, the question is also how is there a way for Che to end the game on round 7? I don't know. I don't think so. Sneaker's gonna end up getting a spy down. The spy is probably gonna be going to, I would say something like either probably, well, he can't go to Benny, but I'll probably go either Fremen or Arakeen. Probably the only 2 spaces that gives you card draw so that he can guarantee himself a path to Spice and Slow. So yes, that's one more influence found from Sneaker here. How does he get 4 more faction bumps in the next 3 rounds? Oh my god, wow. Okay, so Wade ends up taking a nice little not pistol. Wade ends up taking Cargo Runner, which is, well, to be fair, it does make sense because he does have 2 contracts that are easily going to be completed next round. So it's not a bad idea, but Sneaker was really hoping to get that card. Okay, does Wade end up buying Guild Envoy instead of something like Prepare the Way? Sneakers are probably happy with buying Prepare the Way, right? Because, well, first of all, it gives him faction access with his with the, what's the card called? With his Urgent Shigawara. So he can play a lot of Prepare the Ways. Urgent Shigawara, by the way, gives the next Benny card that you play all access. So you can take a Prepare the Way to something like Espionage. You can take a Prepare the Way with Fremkid, and it gives you a lot of access. So what does Sneaker buy here? Does Sneaker end up buying a Prepare the Way? I'd probably say Prepare the Way at this point in the game, right? Unless Sneaker wants to really think about winning a combat, which might be a little bit difficult given the setups that other players are having. But also, it's not the end of the world because, again, like Sneaker might want to win the combat with his nice little unexpected allies. He does have a nice little loyal commander. So it's not the end of the world, but he ends up going for a... He ends up buying Seek, Eliminate Allies, and double Prepare the Ways. I like the Prepare the Way pickups. I might have just bought 1, but 2 is also fine. Okay, so everybody's playing a very heavy contract game here except for Airman. Airman's playing he's playing a game, for sure. Not quite sure what exactly that game is. Okay, let's take a quick look at these Piter intrigues. A withdrawn at the end of Pat's turn, terrible intrigue. And the other one being ambitious. That is one way for Sneaker to pick up his faction bumps. Here we go. And Sneaker finds it, Prepare the Way instantly, which is huge, meaning he can instantly go to something like Espionage and then go Secrets and pick up another faction bump, pick up another alliance in the way, right? He can play something like Ambitious. He can play Ambitious, take another faction point. That is going to probably score his Fremen bump, Fremen or Spacing bump, whatever's open, right? And he probably gets a Spice Slow because he's going to be able to he's probably going to be able to pick up another faction role. Okay, so he ends up stealing Unexpected Allies, which is probably not the intrigue that Sneaker wanted to be stolen from. So that is unfortunate. That is okay, though. Did he draw 2 cards? Sneaker has just said that he's probably going to forfeit this game because that's the only intrigue in Sneaker's hand that he kind of wanted to keep. The other intrigues are pretty terrible. Shadowlines, probably not a relevant intrigue. Ambitious, probably not Ambitious, pretty good. That's a faction bump. By the way, Wade finds a beautiful intrigue, by the way. Not only is it Unexpected Allies, but he also finds a Withdrawal Agreement, which is great for him. He ends up getting faction bumps now. Wade isn't as far in faction bumps. He has 2 hanging points, which he can easily pick up with 1 High Council, because he picks up the contract that way. And he can probably just go to something like Spacing or even Highliner. Probably Deliver Supplies or Highliner when you end up get the bump that way. He might consider maybe just Highlinering right now. Well, no, he probably wants to go Sardaukar right now. Maybe pick up the commander. Maybe. We'll see. So Airman actually, by the way, decides to go Worming in this combat, which is interesting because why? I mean, I guess he just wants the influence, right? He literally just wants the influence. But that also kind of blocks Sneaker because Sneaker was originally first to act, and now Sneaker can no longer go to something like Espionage. That kind of sucks. If I was Sneaker in this position, I might actually just quit. Well, not only did I lose my Unexpected Allies, I also ended up getting blocked on both of the Benny spaces that I really wanted to go to. So that kind of sucks. So if I was Sneaker here, I would probably open with something like Arrakeen. Maybe just draw 2 cards, right? That's clearly what he's probably going to be doing here. Unless he wants to maybe Hollow Protectors right now. Maybe get rid of his dagger. I don't hate it. By the way, Ghouls end up going to Espionage. He gets 3 Solari. He has a spy on Swordmaster, which is kind of irrelevant because not only does he not have access to privilege, he doesn't have Solari for Swordmaster or a High Council revisit. So not quite sure exactly what Ghouls is doing, but I'm sure he does. He has an idea of what he's doing. He goes to Arrakeen. He doesn't recall the spy though. Interesting. Sardaukar from Wade here or Esmar here, which was kind of all we were expecting. He ends up getting a commander down. Finally, it is round 6. Wade gets a commander down. It is going to activate his Quash Rebellion for when he does get it off next round for 2 swords and 2 persuasion. I would assume Wade probably goes to something like High Council and gets his faction bump there too. And he probably deploys in 3 troops in the combat, which actually is a little bit difficult for him to deploy 3 and after he goes to High Council because, well, he can only play his dunes, which only go to Imperial base and is 2 siege, and there's no way for him to deploy a 3rd troop in. So I don't know exactly how Wade is. I don't know how Wade is probably going to be deploying in this combat, but I would assume Wade probably still goes High Council, right? Why is Airman flipped his cards over? What? Oh, he left. I see. I think his VC disconnected. Maybe I disconnected. No, I can still interact with the table. Okay, seems like Airman's Wi-Fi has disconnected. That's why he's out. He's currently at another college town, so he's gonna have a terrible Wi-Fi. Anyways, Airman is back. He is playing. Let's go. He is gonna go to research station. He's gonna draw some cards. Doesn't really have any ambitions for spices, so he probably just wants to win the combat. He wants to find Pivotal Gambit, which is currently not in his discard. If he found his Pivotal Gambit there, he would have been in a really good spot there. Because then he gets, not only does he get the alliance on Benny most likely with something like bribery, but he can also just Pivotal Gambit for the spacing guild bump. And if Airman is able to pull off Pivotal Gambit, then the game does turn in his favor. However, oh, I just realized the nobody went to secrets. What happened to secrets? I swear somebody was on secrets, right? Oh, right. Esmer was on secrets, and then he recalled from secrets. That means that gives Sneaker the option to go to secrets with his Prepare the Way. Maybe Sneaker should have noticed that. Maybe Sneaker should have realized that Wade was probably not going to go there. Maybe Sneaker should have taken a different action first on his first round. Because now he's kind of forced to play something like a Prepare the Way to say something like secrets. Maybe he doesn't want to go secrets. Maybe Sneaker decides to go to is this a Highliner? What is this? What is this play from Ghouls here? Fremkid, dutiful service, deliver supplies. Secrets, maybe? I mean, why would he go secrets, though? It's gonna be dutiful service. Okay. He recalls a spy. He has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 persuasion. 8 persuasion, not ideal. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 7 persuasion, not even 8. Just has 7 persuasion, which kind of sucks. He was ideally probably hoping for a spice slow. Not trashing the dagger, but instead trashing the spice and slow. Interesting. I guess he wants to make sure he has access. Okay, he goes to prepare the way. He prepares the way to Fremkid. He draws a total of 3 cards, right? And he finds a terrible draw. He has only base cards in his hands. That is kind of unfortunate for Sneaker Dead here. What is he going to end up doing, though, is the question. He has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 persuasion. If Sneaker Dead somehow gets to something like Assembly Hall, then he would be more than happy to get a Spice slow, right? If Sneaker Dead gets to Assembly Hall, right? Oh, sorry. If Sneaker Dead gets to Assembly Hall, let me quickly make sure everything is good. Let me go down to like half a tile again. There we go. Okay, if Sneaker Dead gets to Assembly Hall, right? Then he gets a Spice Missile this round, which puts him up to a total of 7 points. Then he can play Ambitious to get the bump up on Fremen, which is 8 points. Next round, he gets a Spice Missile, which is 9 points. And how does he get the Benny point? Or the spacing point, for that matter? That part, we have no answer to. But, as of right now, we do think Sneaker Dead is most likely going to be ending this game. Hmm. Let's see what else happens here. We have Esmar Tuik going to privilege. So Esmar Tuik has been taking like 3 actions. What's crazy is that Esmar Tuik still has 2 actions after Coda reveals, which is I mean it's not that crazy. This all happens all the time with like steersman plays, with High Council recall plays. It happens commonly, but it's just crazy because 1% of the table does not have Swordmaster. If you ask me who is currently favored to win this game, I would probably say Sneaker, followed up by probably Airman, depending on how the next combat goes. Right? There's also, but also looking at Asmar's intrigues, I would probably say Asmar is in a pretty good spot to win the combat himself. Because, well, he does have a lot of ways to deploy 3 troops. He can deploy 3 troops in right now. He draws a couple of cards, right? He gets Card Runner for 2 more card draws. He goes to something like Siege. He gets Hooks. And then maybe he goes to like High Council, right? I mean, he gets a bump on it. I mean, to be fair, like Wade is actually in a pretty good spot. The more that I look at it, right? I would say Wade maybe gets if the game goes round 8. I feel like Wade is in a really good spot. But if Sneaker ends the game on round 7, which is kind of what is expected as of right now, then then the game's over anyway, right? Then Wade probably does not have a chance here. But if the game goes round 8, I feel like Wade is in a pretty good spot. Let's see what Wade does here. Wade's probably gonna go to Siege, right? He's probably gonna deploy 3 troops in, unless he knows the top card of his deck is something like a dagger, right? If he knows the top card of his deck is a dagger or a recon, then depending on what it is, he probably goes to High Council first, takes a bump up on Benny, goes to 5, he's currently on 3 points. He goes to 4 points with the Benny friendship. He gets to 5 points with the spacing friendship on reveal, I would assume, or once he retreats. So he gets to 5 points there. Maybe buys some Spice and Slow, which is gonna be 6 points. And next combat probably wants to target the combat, I would assume. Let's see. Sneaker's gonna open with a discard card. Finds Keys to Power, which is nice. But he can't buy a Spice Slow anymore, right? 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's on 8 Persuasion. He needs to play that. Where's he gonna take it though? Is he gonna go Secrets or is he gonna go to Deliver Supplies? I would say Secrets for the intrigue, but Sneaker also needs to make sure that he finds a Spices Slow, which actually is guaranteed because all he has to do is get rid of 2 1% cards, right? And he just finds 2, and he finds. Oh wait, nobody has a Spices Slow in his deck. Oh my god, if Sneaker finds a Spices Slow in his discard after playing Ixion Probe, he no longer gets a Spices Slow. So it is a big risk that Sneaker is going to be taking. If I was Sneaker, I would probably open with Ixion Probe, make sure that I'm not drawing my Spices Slow, and if I am going to be drawing my Spices Slow, then I'll probably change my action. But yeah, it looks like that's what he's going to be doing here. He does not find Spices Slow. He's more than happy to play his Keys to Power to something like Secrets or Deliver Supplies. Now the question is to where does he play it? Does he go Dutiful Supplies or does he go Deliver Supplies or does he go or Secrets? Secrets is an intrigue. Deliver Supplies is water. Gives an options to go maybe research stationing to find more draw. Arakeen as well. Okay, interesting. He's gonna play Ambitious right now. Why? Like, why not do this on reveal? Like, why do it right now, Sneaker? I don't fully understand why he does it right now. Like, you can still go Deliver Supplies, right? You also like at the same time make sure that Wade is in a position to either deploy 3 troops and or not. Like you kind of force Wade to either deploy or not deploy because you have 3 troops in the combat, right? But the funny thing is Wade also himself is going to be retreating probably in this combat. Huh. So what does Wade do? Wade knows his next hand, right? Wade knows his next cards, obviously. So if I was Wade, I would probably, well, depending on what the next card is, right? Can I take a look at what his Glow Globes does? Can I see what? Can I see what it does? Oh, it's Quash. Okay, nice. He's gonna go High Council here. Okay. Gonna High Council here. He's gonna take the bump up on Benny probably. The thing is, actually, not Airman. Oh, okay. That is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 Persuasion. But now he might have to early reveal here because, well, what else can he do? He doesn't have a spy down on Arakeen or something. I guess you know what he could do is probably go to like his own Siege and draw a card. I mean, assuming his next card is a 1 Persuasion card, which actually I have no idea if it is. Has he trashed both daggers? He's trashed both daggers. So yeah, his next card is gonna be a 1 Persuasion card. So it is guaranteed to be a 1 Persuasion card. So I would think maybe he either goes Siege, deploys troops in the combat, places like second in the combat, Or he, sorry, he either goes Siege here, Worms. But why would he do that? Like, does he really want the match here? It depends. It depends on what Airman reveals, obviously, right? If Airman does reveals, if Airman's reveal is pretty weak, which I mean we know it is, then he actually does have the option of maybe going to something like Siege Tower, right? He's gonna buy Forbidden Weapons. Here we go. So Wade is committing to this combat. That's what we've just realized here. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 persuasion. 8 persuasion from Wade here. But he's gonna be forced to not be able to purchase a Spice and Slow, which I think he's probably okay with. There is, you know what? There is another world actually where Wade ends up playing Tenuous Bond to go down on something like, I don't know, to go down on Fremen, to go up on Emperor, to take the extra spy, which he puts the spy on, say, something like Siege Tabra. And then he goes to Siege Tabra, he worms the combat, he hammers it down, wins the combat most likely, right? Because he gets Forbidden Weapons, he deploys in what? A total of 2, he deploys 6 in at Siege, Worm for 9, Forbidden for 12, Desperate for 15, reveals Squash for 17. Like, he would be able to pull it off. Okay, he's to be fair, he wants to win the combat regardless. Okay, he's just going for the combat because it's a match for him. Okay, you know what? Fair enough, Wade. He ends up taking the bump down on spacing. Oh, Wade, where'd you take the bump down on for Forbidden Weapons? Uh, okay. Oh, he takes the bump down on Fremen. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so Wade ends up taking the bump down on what is that, Fremen. So now Wade is actually in a pretty good spot as well. He ends up winning the combat. I would have maybe considered winning the combat. Well, did he get a spice slow? He did get a spice slow, didn't he? Yeah. So I guess in this way he still gets a spice slow and a match, which fair enough. I didn't consider that line. I mean, I looked at it briefly, but the Forbidden Weapons line I totally missed. So well played from Wade there. Takes a big risk to actually win the combat against Airman here. Now Airman is kind of placed out of this game, I would say. Okay, so we have ghouls here who has captured Mentat. Which he can use to actually bump down, bump up in places. I would think captured Mentat probably goes. Oh, sorry, he probably opens it overthrow to like espionage, right? And then probably plays something like captured Mentat. Oh, he can't even play captured Mentat because he needs to keep captured Mentat to go down and influence somewhere to go up somewhere else. Wow. Okay. Sneaker's not having that great of a hand either. I mean, I have no idea what's happening in this combat. Like, oh, I would love to tell you that Airman's probably my. Oh, is he gonna risk it? Is he risking it? Oh my god, he's about to risk it on research station. Oh my lord. Okay, is he doing it? He's gonna draw 2 cards on research station. The thing is, he kind of has to, doesn't he? The question is, how does he get a second spy down? Probably through something like going to espionage, right? But the thing is, he needs to go to espionage and not recall a spy. He's gonna do it. Here we go. He's gonna do it. He deploys in a total of 5 troops in, and probably deploys in the commander R2, I would assume. Right? Yeah, makes sense. He doesn't have High Council. Otherwise, a High Council revisit dropships would have been huge. He's gonna take the bump up on. I would probably think Emperor, right? Maybe he wants to go to Emperor himself or Sardaukar himself and dropships. That's an option as well. If I was him, I would probably go espionage into dropships at Sardaukar, but because you definitely need to go to espionage. But I don't know if you're gonna be seeing espionage here, right? Because, well, first of all, espionage is a pretty sacred space to like 3 people here. I mean, Ghouls wants to go espionage for the draw. Oh, but he's gonna, okay, no, he's gonna chase on space or Emperor, which I don't think it's a chase, to be honest. But we'll see, we'll see. I thought Ghouls was probably gonna go espionage to draw some cards, but that also works. Sneaker probably doesn't want to go espionage at this point, right? Where does Sneaker want to go? Sneaker has a spy on. He discards a spice slow to find a spice slow. There we go. There's a little crash out from Sneaker. Love to see it. Um, where does Sneaker go? Does Sneaker go Arakeen here? The thing is, Sneaker needs to find a spice slow and needs to find a bump up on Fremen, which is actually very likely for him to do that. Right? He didn't get research station, which is fine. He probably, I mean, if I was Sneaker, I'd just go Arakeen, right? I'd just go Arakeen and then Fremkit and just call it a day, right? Like, I don't know why, and Bio Spice Slow, which is guaranteed. Or even Arakeen with pulling a spy works as well, right? Okay, not ideal, but it's okay. We'll live with it. Puts in 3 troops. So now Pivotal Gambit is in play. By the way, this is what Pivotal Gambit does. Pivotal Gambit adds a influence to the first place reward for the conflict. Meaning, if you place, whoever gets first, by the way, it's not just you. It's not whoever trashes this card. If Airman, since Romber trashed this card, if somehow Esmar wins this combat, he gets an influence bump on play. Like he gets an influence bump after winning the combat, which is huge. That might give him the bump that he needs to pick up the Spacing Friendship, or the bump that he needs to pick up the Benny Alliance, right? Or maybe even pick up the bump that he needs to contest the Emperor Alliance. There's a lot of lines here for Esmar to win the combat. But there's also a nice little Spring the Trap that our friend our Romber's holding. Now the question is, what does Wade do here, right? Wade's in a spot where he can actually pick up two bumps, right? He picks up 2 bumps, buys a Spice Slow, but that's kind of about it, right? Oh, that's a gross intrigue to find at this time of game, after this time of the game, because that intrigue is probably going to be generating him, maybe winning him the combat. It's close though. It's close. Like Wade only has 2 more actions to deploy, and our friend Airman or Romber most likely wanted to see Espionage to proc Spring the Trap, but it's probably not going to be seeing Espionage anymore. Huh. I don't know. Is there any other world where Romber can generate a spice and where Romber can generate a spy? I don't know. I don't think there is. Like if I was Romber, I might even consider going to gather support, right? Buying self-destroying messages, and maybe I find a spy in there. Right? Looks like that's what he's going to be doing. Yeah, okay, so I guess I just called out the line. He's going to go gather support here. He's going to buy SDM. Maybe not SDM. Yeah, well, actually, what will you buy other than SDM? He's going to drop rapid dropships. He's going to get a Candy Commander. Probably going to win this combat pretty easily. Oh, he finds nothing but spies. Oh my lord. The absolute dream here. He finds nothing but spies. Jesus. Okay, he puts in 4 troops in here. He procs both of his distractions. Puts a spy on probably, I mean, literally anywhere, right? Anywhere you probably want to be going. He has 2, 4, 6, 7 persuasion. So I would suggest maybe putting the spy on somewhere where you want to draw cards, I would assume, right? Okay, I mean, wow, the absolute dream from Airman here. Okay, so now what happens in this game? If Airman wins this combat, right? If Airman wins this combat, he gets a total of 1 point. He gets up 1 point from itself. If he doesn't have to play Spring the Trap, he gets 2 points. Right? And he can play Pivotal Gambit, and he plays Pivotal Gambit for 1 more bump, which puts him to 3 points. But puts him to 7 only. He needs to somehow find a Spice Slow, right? Oh, you know what I think is gonna happen? Give yourself a persuasion so you don't forget. There you go. So you don't forget. So that I don't forget for commentary purposes. Okay. So he has a total of 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 persuasion. He puts a spy. If I was Airman, I would consider putting the spy on a faction space. Like even Deliver Supplies is fine. I think Secrets is great too. Secrets. I mean, he's probably gonna go Secrets. Okay, we have our friend Coda here deciding by flagship on round. What's this? Round 7. Round 7 buys a flagships. Ends up spending 2 Solari here for, I guess, more commanders eventually. Probably he's gonna buy a Spicy Slow this round. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, she's probably gonna buy a Spicy Slow this round. But that's kind of about it though. I mean, she gave up her captured Mentat opportunity, unless she thinks that she probably wants to go Secrets. I don't know. Feels like it's out of Coda's range here to go Secretsing. Gives up an intrigue to find a better intrigue, which it's not a better intrigue because it's not a better intrigue because she doesn't have a spy down, but she does have the ability to get a spy down on something like Deliver Supplies. However, she does not have access to Deliver Supplies. So, Sneaker is going to be ending on 10 points this round. Unless, by somehow, some way, Wade ends up taking the Emperor Alliance, which is completely possible, right? If Wade goes to Deliver Supply, Dutiful Service, and, you know, discards, I don't know, something like Wheels Within Wheels, and then goes to something like Siege, and then deploys in 3 troops, and takes the bump up on Emperor, the game does not end, and we go 1 more round, in which case, I think Wade is probably favored to win. But in the current state of the game, I think Wade probably doesn't take it down. Actually, there's Tenuous Bond as well. I didn't even notice, but there's a Tenuous Bond in the game but yeah, it looks like he's probably going to be taking the Alliance. So But the thing is, Sneaker's not too impacted by it because in terms of points, Sneaker still nets 0 points because he has Shadow Alliance. Shadow Alliance says that if you have 4 or more influence on a faction track where an opponent has an alliance, which is probably going to be what's going to be happening in this case, does he take the alliance with 10 years bond or does he take the alliance on reveal? He's gonna discard his Wheels and Wheels, gets a couple of draws. Ouch, that is not the draw you wanted as Wade there. Okay, we can look at the top card of his deck, and it's probably gonna be a. I mean, we'll take a look too. We'll give Wade some company. It's Cargo Runner, fantastic. Puts a spy on Privilege. How is he getting this Solari for Privilege though? Spice Must Low contract, huge. Oh my lord, who is gonna be interested in buying that? I mean, anybody and everybody's gonna be interested in buying that. 246. I mean, if I was Coda, I'm going instantly to accept contract if I get the opportunity to. If I'm Rumber here, I'm going secrets and I'm recalling a spy here so that I get an intrigue. Ouch! That is the one card you did not want to find. Is Dagger. That is unfortunate. Did he have another dead card in his deck? That is the question. And it looks like it probably did not have another dead card. That is going to be very sad for our friend Robert Vernius here. That is going to make him have 8 Persuasion, which is going to stop him from buying a Spice of Slow, which is going to only put him up to a total of 1 point from the combat, 2 points from the combat, 7 points. Pivotal Gambit, 8 points. Puts up to 8 points. Him missing a Spice of Slow would have went up to 9. So that is unfortunate for our friend Robert Vernius here. And I'm happy. Not happy. Sorry. I'm glad that Coda decided to go accept contract there. She ends up taking the contract card. Does she trash 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 Persuasion? Does she? She probably has to trash a card here, right? Trash a tech here. She's gonna trash Spy Drones at this point. She gets another card draw, and it's gonna be a dagger. Nobody is hitting a Spices this round. What is happening? I mean, Sneaker is out here. He's on 8 Persuasion. Wade, if he plays a card, he's on 8 Persuasion. Sneaker ends up going to Assembly Hall to make sure he doesn't miss Spice and Slow though. So this is gonna be unfortunate. We have gonna be Sneakers plans another end game point, which doesn't qualify for. But no, everybody and their mama is missing Spice and Slows here. This feels so bad. But I guess in a way, it's not the end of the world because it doesn't matter because Romber and Coda are most likely fighting for 3rd and 4th place. It's just a matter of who is getting last and who's getting 3rd, right? And in this game, it looks like 3rd is probably going to be given to Romber with the combat because and I guess in a way, them both missing Spice Slow evens up the game. Yeah, I'm that is very unfortunate for our friend the Little Green Ghouls there. There's not many dead cards left in his deck, and he finds both of them on the draw. He ends up trashing Spy Drones as well. That is so unfortunate. 8 Persuasion. He ends up getting a Fremen bump though. He ends up getting a Fremen bump. Missing a Spice Slow is not what a Ghouls wanted here, because that would have been another bump up on spacing, which would have gotten him the Solari. Maybe he wants to go to Privilege. Well, he can still go Privilege next round. By the way, we're assuming we go one next round, but this is a very big assumption here. Detonation from... Does he want to win this combat? I'm so confused. He literally has what? A 3-sword intrigue and a 2-sword. He has 5 swords. He has 5 swords behind. He has 5 swords behind. I guess he could get 8 swords behind, but like it doesn't matter because Airman obviously just gets the ability to. Oh, he's gonna go for it. But Airman again, right, has Spring the Trap, which would be very unfortunate if Airman has to play Spring the Trap. 9 Persuasion from Sneaker Dead here. He chooses not to miss a Spice Slow this round. He ends up getting he just buys a Spice Slow here. And, I mean, we all know Wade is most likely just going to be taking the Emperor Alliance anyway, so it doesn't matter. Because if Wade does not take the Emperor Alliance, then he knows he's guaranteed to not place in this combat. Okay. Oh, Wade's probably going to... you know what I think Wade's going to be doing? Wade's probably going to be retreating 3 troops for a bump up on Emperor. That's what I think is going to be happening. But the thing is, then he might overstack his troops on Emperor. Huh. He might overstack his troops, so he retreats 3 here. which I think is fine because he's the only one. He's the only one that's going to be going with the garrison. So it's not the end of the world that he gives with like one extra troop that he won't be able to deploy unless he finds something like a, I don't know, like a, what could Wade possibly find here? I mean, maybe like Dedo, but both Dedos have been played. Adaptive tactics is one thing that I'm thinking about. Um, that's kind of about it, right? There's only 3 intrigues that allow you to deploy. Holy War's not in the game. No Ruthless Leadership. Disrupting tactics are already been played. So there's not many ways for him to deploy, and he's not Piter, so he can't even play something like Devious to get the extra bump, or to get the extra deploy. So plays Forbidden Weapons here, or he gets rid of Forbidden Weapons. Does he play this intrigue right now, or does he wait on reveal? If I was if I was hmm, if I was Wade, I would consider not tenuous bonding. Okay, he's gonna go for it though. He's gonna take the alliance, and we're gonna go one more round. So 10 points total. But the thing is, if Wade somehow had another influence on spacing, right, he would have actually chosen to end the game on 10 points himself. Well, actually, he wouldn't have chosen the game because he would still end up getting second to Sneaker because Sneaker has an end game of his own. Little does he know, Sneaker has another end game of his own, which is Shadow Alliance. So Sneaker, by the way, is still on 11 points. And next round, I would expect Sneaker to do something like getting some sort of like research station play to get another Spice on slow. And Sneaker is just probably going to be happy on 12 points. However, that might not be enough because Wade is probably going to be winning next combat. So okay, Sneaker's gonna retreat here. He's gonna get into Solari. He's gonna get into Intrigue. That's not bad actually. That might generate him in the future card draw. This is not a bad Intrigue to get because this pairs nicely with Chomp Transports. Um, what is this? War Chest. Does he play it? Does our friend Ghouls probably retreats here? No, he doesn't need to retreat. He keeps the spice. Interesting. Okay, so Airman wins this combat. He does not have to play Spring the Trap. That means he's gonna be having a nice little. Okay, so he's gonna take the bump here. He's gonna take the match. He's gonna take the bump up. Probably, I would assume on Emperor for privilege access, but again, he's probably not gonna be seeing privilege access because actually, wait, he is. Oh wait, no, Ghouls is gonna see privilege first. Okay, opportunism found from Ghouls here. Sorry, from Coda here, which is great intrigue for her. Or yeah, it's a great intrigue for her because now she has 2 influences on 2 spaces that she doesn't really want to have influence on. She doesn't want to have the influence on Emperor, doesn't want to have the influence on Fremen. So that's 2 influence that she can instantly get rid of. She can buy a Spice Slow for the influence on spacing. She can go to Espionage for that influence. So that's 2 influences right there. Opportunism is 3 points, and then a Spice Slow is 4 points. So there is a clear cut point. There's a clear cut way for Coda to hit 10 points this round. So I think that's probably the line for Coda. I would assume at this point because Coda's probably gonna go something like espionage, privilege, draw some cards, and then reveal for a spicy slow, play opportunism, and call it a day. I think that's probably gonna be what's happening. But that's not gonna be enough to win the game here because that's only 10 points, and we have 2 players already who have established that they're gonna be at more than 10 points. What is this? Why deliver supplies? You're probably gonna get the spicy slow through. Okay, sure. Espionage. Okay, sure, that's fine. I guess she still has the option of going to espionage herself, unless Coda thinks maybe she wants to get the alliance on spacing, which you know what could be an option for her. Research station from who is this? From Staban, not Staban, Sneaker, Piter. Research station from Piter. He draws 3 cards. He ends up playing. He's probably gonna end up playing his holo projectors to discard a card to draw another card, so that he can probably find better cards that are not spicy slows because his deck. I mean, his hand right now is not particularly that great, right? He's gonna throw the commander in. Does he want to win this combat? It looks like he might want to win this combat, but I feel like he might be out of position to win this combat. He also just wants to picking up coercive negotiation. He has 3 contracts to look at. He has Spice Refinery, Diller's Supplies, and Spice Refinery for draw 2. If I was him, I'd probably pick up the Spice Refinery for draw 2, so that when you end up going to Spice Refinery, you draw a total of 3 cards, which is better than 2 cards. So Spice Refinery from Spice Refinery contract found from Sneaker here, that's gonna probably take him to 12 points. But the question is that gonna be enough to fight Wade here? Let's take a quick look at what Wade is gonna be doing. Wade is probably gonna be going to Siege Tower. He's probably gonna worm the combat, right? That's gonna put him up to at least 2 more points, which is gonna get him up to at least, I would assume, 11, right? If he finds a spicy slow, that is 12. And if he somehow finds a way to get the spacing point, that is 13 points. However, he needs to somehow find a way to get 13 points. If he doesn't get to 13 points, he would be losing. Oh wait, no. He gets 2 points from the he gets 3 points from the combat, right? Yeah, he gets 3 points from the combat. That's okay. That if Wade finds a way to get to 13 points, then Wade wins it. But otherwise, Sneaker would probably take it down on 12. 12 and a lot of spice. That's the part we're missing. Because right now, Sneaker is on 9 points. It's 10 with Shadow Alliance, 11 with Chom Transports. So, and probably is going to buy a Spice Slow with, look at this. I mean, look at his hand. He is probably going to be buying a Spice Slow here for 12 points and a lot of spice. So now the question is, this game is basically Wade's to win. Like, currently Sneaker's ahead, but if Wade can find a way to get to 13 points here, then Wade takes it down. The question is, how does Wade get to 13 points? This is going to be a privileged play probably from Ghouls. Yep, makes sense. He's probably going to get rid of Spice's power. Or maybe he probably gets rid of the two sword intrigue, the find weakness. Probably gets rid of this, I would think. Yeah, he's probably going to get a Spice's Law and reveal. Yeah, I don't fully understand Ghouls going to deliver supplies there instead of espionage. I feel like espionage would have been the better play, especially if you weren't going to put the spy on privilege. Like if you're going to put the spy on research station, then espionage was just better because you can always just get the point on reveal with your the spice and slow. But the question is, like, I think maybe what Ghouls is thinking is that I don't think 10 points is going to be enough, and he's probably right. 10 points is definitely not going to be enough. I mean, our friend Sneaker here, or Piter, is showing 10 points already, right, without any intrigues behind. So, and Airman, I don't know what Airman's doing actually. How is Airman scoring even 10 points here, right? Airman's probably gonna have a spicy slow, which is gonna get him to 9. And the 10 point might have to be some sort of like spacing, but it's gonna be a little bit difficult. He draws 3 cards here, and I feel like Sneaker has nothing to lose, so he might as well just Highliner, right? He puts pressure on Wade because if Wade doesn't win the combat with a worm, then actually I just realized Wade lost a lot of spice here. Wade ended up spending a lot of spice. Wasn't he on 7? He's gonna go worming, but now he's in a position where he actually can't win the he can still win the combat, but he's not gonna be win the combat with 4 spice extra to spend, or get a spice slow. Okay, so I mean, yeah, sure, Wade wins the combat. That puts him to 11 only as of right now. He needs to get to 13 in order to win the game, right? But how does he get to 13? I don't think there's currently a way for Wade to get to 13 points. I could be mistaken, right? Yeah, I don't think there's a way for Wade to get to 13 points right now, but But I think what Wade is realizing is that maybe 12 should be enough to win the game, because he understands Sneaker's definitely on 11 with a Spice and Slow and Chom Profits or Chom Transports, and he's just hoping and praying that Sneaker doesn't have an end game. But we know that he does, so it doesn't matter. Like, I think what Wade is thinking is that maybe 12 points should just be enough to win the game here, which he might not be incorrect. Like, what I think Wade might be doing here is probably go deliver supplies, right? And if he goes deliver supplies, then he has the option of. Also, by the way, where did unexpected allies go? Wasn't somebody holding unexpected allies? Did somebody switch it out? I feel like somebody did. Yeah, nobody broke the wall using it, right? I don't remember when unexpected allies got played. Oh my god! Wow, totally missed that. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Wade is probably gonna go deliver supplies and probably gonna retreat 3 troops for a bump up on spacing, which is gonna put him up to a total of 10 points. Then he's gonna get 2 points from the combat, which is gonna put him up to 12 points, and he's gonna be losing to Sneaker on spice tiebreaks here. Now, what would suck is if somehow Sneaker goes Highliner, make a pressuring Wade enough to the point where he can no longer retreat 3 troops, which is probably what Sneaker might be thinking about doing. Or the other option is Sneaker ends up going to Sardaukar because he wants to try to find an intrigue, which will allow him to maybe take the alliance. Something like Change Allegiances, something like Tenuous Bond has been played, Imperium Politics has been played. I don't know what other intrigues are there. Bribery has been played. So there's not many other intrigues that Sneaker can use to actually take the alliance, but he might give it a go. We'll see what Sneaker's thinking. Research station from. Oh my god, he finds captured Mentat. Oh my god, the only saving grace. Oh wait, no, that's not even saving grace. That's not even saving. Oh wait, no, it is because he gets his place slow. Right. Okay. So So he actually does get the alliance. Okay, he gets the alliance on spacing. Oh, right. He might get the alliance on spacing, right? So Ghouls has a way to get to 10 points here. That's what I'm seeing. Ghouls has a way to get to 10 points. Is he going for the combat? Oh my god. He looks like he's just going to go for the combat here as well, which is going to be, which actually might be enough here. I didn't even notice that he could go for the combat. Oh my god. Wow. Well played from Ghouls there. I totally missed the fact that he could go for the combat. So he's going to have a total of 5, 7, 7 plus 6, 13 swords on play. Like, which is probably going to be enough, I guess, against Wade, because Wade's not going to be having enough to win this combat. Okay, so what's happening here is actually Wade is not Wade. Ghouls is going to take a bump up on spacing, which is going to put him up to 8 points. Sorry, he's going to buy Spices Low. He's going to put him at 8 points. He's then going to play Opportunism to take a bump down on probably Benny and Fremen, and then after that he's going to end up. After that, he's probably gonna end up playing Captured Mentat to take the bump up on spacing for extra Solari, right? That's what I think is probably gonna be happening. And extremely well played from Ghouls there. I totally missed that line. And yeah, I realized that he can probably win the combat with his intrigues. And yeah, you know what? Fair enough. You know, Deliver Supplies was a great play there. I totally missed that line. Well played from Ghouls. You know, hats off. Sneaker. But the thing is, like, does Ghouls ever win the game? Like, he still only gets to what? He gets the Spices, which puts him up to 7. He puts him up to 8 points. He plays. He gets Opportunism to 9, and then he gets Captured, and he plays Captured Mentat to 10. Right? He plays Captured Mentat to 10, and then he. Oh, but he also has one more spice from Driven. Oh my god, he has one more spice from Driven. But that's assuming he doesn't have to play Spice's Power, right? If he doesn't have to play Spice's Power, then actually there is a world where Ghouls actually would be on 12 points, and that would change the direction of this game. It would probably go. Ghouls probably get second instead of first here. So wow, very well played from Ghouls there to find the research line. So yeah, Opportunism is great, and him finding Captured Mentat is the saving grace. Like, if Captured Mentat right now is worth a point for him. If he doesn't find Captured Mentat there, which I guess it makes up for the fact that he missed a Spice and Slow last round. He missed a Spice and Slow, which is fine, but now he gets Captured Mentat, which gives him the extra, which gives him not only the Spice and Slow, but also gives him the another point. What does Sneaker do here? Where does Sneaker go? Sneaker went to Assembly Hall. He wants to find entry games, and he actually does find another endgame. Huge. He finds Control Profits. What an absolute luck box from Sneaker here. He ends up going to 13 points, and now there's no way that any other player can catch up to him. What an absolute intrigue. What an absolute intrigue station from Sneaker here. So now what is Wade gonna do? Wade's probably gonna go Deliver Supplies. He might not go Deliver Supplies. He can't afford to lose the combat anymore because, well, Ghouls has 4 intrigues, right? With Ghouls having 4 intrigues, it is difficult for Wade to try to skimp this combat anymore. Wade might have to go to something like Desert Tactics. And again, that might not be enough because, well, Desert Tactics only gets him up to total of +2 strength, right? And he didn't give up Depart for Arrakis. He had Depart for Arrakis, but I mean, Seeker's currently. Right. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting round. Wade is trying to deter. Wade has just has the realization that he can no longer win the combat. So he's probably just trying to point max right now, which is why he's going to go to spacing right now instead of going to tactics, try to win the combat. So he's just trying to optimize for his points right now, which fair enough. That's the only thing he really can do. Airman, I have no idea what Airman's doing here. I mean, Airman's gonna go to Fremkid. He's gonna secure himself from being stolen. He ends up getting 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 persuasion. He buys a Spice and Slow. He ends up capturing Mentatting down on Emperor. Probably, I mean, that's fine. Gets up on Benny, sure. What? Buys a Spice and Slow, I would assume. He takes the contract as well. He completes the contract, complete the contract, and then play Opportunism. Oh, wait, hold up. What happened to his Opportunism? Am I missing something? Did he just not play Opportunism? Wait, hold up. Did he get rid of? Is that what had happened? I was assuming he's gonna get opportunism for a point, but no, he gave up opportunism. Oh my lord, opportunism would have been a straight up point for him. Oh my god. Wow, he gave up opportunism because he wanted to fight for the combat. You know what? Fair enough. That's probably going to be what's going to be to helping Ghouls to get at least second in this game instead of third. So you know what? Fair enough. Point is a point. Um, okay, 10 persuasion. He ends up with 9 points, but I think that is going to be it for Che. Airman is going to be out of this combat. He's going to be only on to 9 points, and that is going to be game. I mean, Wade can try to hope to get 10 points, but that is, I mean, Wade currently is on 10 points because the only way Airman has it, the only endgame that Airman qualifies for is, uh, what is it? The Chris Knife match. Which fair enough. You know, if Airman has it, then Wade surely would probably lose anyways. But yeah, I think this is very unfortunate that Wade had to try to aim for 13 points, but did not get to 13 points. And it's because, well, Sneaker had the opportunity to go to Assembly Hall, get another endgame intrigue. And to be fair, if he had gone to Sardaukar as well and maybe find like if I was in Sneaker's position, I might have considered going to like Sardaukar instead. He retreats 3 for a bump though. Oh, sick. Okay. So now that gives him spice tie breaks, which is probably not gonna be enough anyways. Because yeah, yeah. I mean, he still gets second. It doesn't matter. Um, yeah, he gets 3 more spice, which is good for tie breaks. But I guess in the tournament, tie breaks literally don't matter. Or spice tie breaks don't matter. The tie breaks is VP percentage, not spice tie breaks. So this is crazy. Ghouls gets second place in this combat in this game somehow, gets to round 8 and ends up not ever finding Swordmaster, and somehow still ends up getting to 8, getting second in this game. Huge. Sneaker takes down first with his 13 points, by the way. Huge. Wade ends up getting a 10, and Airman and Rumber are on 9 points. Very unfortunate game for our friend, our Airman here. Sneaker, we were kind of expecting that was kind of going to be happening. Sneaker was kind of the expected winner in this game. Ghouls put up a really good fight there. Very strong line from a very sharp line to actually end up going to the research station path, which is kind of crazy. I was expecting him to just go to 10 points and maybe take third place, but finding the line for what is this? What's that? What's the card called? Flagship. Finding the flagship point there. Not the point, but finding the flagship draw deploy and still being able to generate enough spice to play Spice's power. Not even for the retreat, but being able to play Spice's power and have the opportunity to win the combat, making sure that you can get to 10. But the thing is, like, if Ghouls does not have a way to spend that spice, then he would still get second to Wade, who would probably he would probably lose to Wade anyways, because Wade would end up getting the bump up on his spacing anyway. So I was expecting Wade to actually get a spice and slow, but I guess he didn't. But I guess also he didn't have a way to draw many cards, and research was kind of blocked. So not that he had the water, he had the water like last round, but super well played from I mean, super well played from Ghouls there. Well played from Sneaker. I mean, Sneaker kind of just like won a combat early and then started printing spice slows and had like 3 endgames. That was kind of about it, which is kind of what we all expected anyways. Like if Sneaker was showing that he was on 11 points, and him getting a 13 would not have changed. Like him having 2 endgames there changes absolutely nothing in terms of the standing. Sneaker would still have won the combat, still won the game. And the thing is, nobody could really stop Sneaker, right? Sneaker was, it wasn't like Sneaker was ahead. It's just like there was just some things where I just looked at Sneaker and was like, wow, he just has such an easy game. Like there's some things that just fell in line for Sneaker there. Not that he didn't play a great game there. The one thing that I didn't like from Wade was maybe going like the Swordmaster of High Council, because getting Quash Rebellion activated, getting High Council was nice, and you also wouldn't have opened up the opportunity for other players to get Swordmaster. You have a spy on Swordmaster, right? You would have actually gotten something like Overthrow on round 3. I think it was at round 3 or round 4. I think it was like round 3. So Wade would have had the opportunity of getting High Council, which would have forced other players to maybe go Swordmastering, and then you would have had the ability as Wade to not just buy overthrow, but obviously that's hindsight bias because overthrow flipped after. But I was actually expecting Wade to maybe buy something like disposal facility. He buys disposal facility and he gets overthrow and he just has a great game and he still gets Solari back to maybe buy something like another to buy Swordmaster and he gets actions back and he starts cooking so hard. But yeah, it didn't take that line. Ended up going for Swordmaster, which I mean, it still worked out fine for him. He still had a very good chance in this game. Just could not take it down, unfortunately. He ends up getting everybody gets all their faction albums except for Airman, which is I mean not that it would have changed anything because Airman still gotten one even with one more point. Airman still gets to 10 points. But wow, I mean, I don't even know what was in these guys' deck. Anyways, with that, we'll call it there. Hopefully you guys liked today's group of death or the second group of death game. I mean, some very strong players. As a matter of fact, all four of these players have been at multiple DUNE Imperium Invitationals. So Sneaker has been a multiple finalist at finalist at the Invitationals. Airman has been a finalist. So a very strong and competitive table. And I'm glad I was able to record this video for you guys to watch. By the way, the play of the day has to go to Ghouls there, right? Finding the line to go research station to win the combat was spectacular. That is something that I might not have found myself. And I'm glad that he did because that goes to show you, right? There's some things that some players might miss and other players realize and understand that in order for them to have a chance in this game, they have to take the riskier path. And it wasn't a riskier path, to be fair. He just needed to make sure he gets research station and he gets a lot of spies down so that he can like recall stuff and maybe he gets enough spice to also be able to beat Wade in the combat and have enough to spend 4 spice for a point. But anyways, with that, we'll call it there. Thank you guys for joining me on today's Consules video. We'll see you guys again later. Goodbye.